The cars on our roads are hurting the planet, and fueling them is expensive. Some drivers say they'd like to switch to electric vehicles, but
it's expensive at the moment.
Just the wait list.
We're looking at the Tesla one, yeah.
But why can't you get one?
So expensive.
The federal government is working on new rules to get more EVs into Australia at cheaper prices.
Fuel efficiency standards force manufacturers to bring into Australia more efficient vehicles that will produce less carbon. Australia is really a laggard in world standards.
There could be hard targets, like when petrol and diesel cars are phased out.
2035, we believe, is a reasonable time frame. As we see more and more EVs hit the market, we may well achieve that even earlier than that.
Hyundai says it is not planning to go fully electric until 2040. The car manufacturer, the nation's biggest car lobby group, and another major brand, Toyota, are all lobbying for a divisive strategy called multiplier credits. Under fuel emissions targets, manufacturers usually get an emissions cap on their overall fleet. They can sell more polluting cars here as long as they drag down their average with sales of low emissions vehicles. The multiplier credits could allow manufacturers to count the sale of a low emissions vehicle twice.
The end result is that they can kind of double dip.
Car manufacturers love free credits because it means they can keep selling the dirtier, higher polluting vehicles that they're selling today.
But the National Roads and Motorists Association says if these credits were used strategically, they could encourage car makers to invest in more low emissions utes, four-wheel drives and vans.
We want to make sure that we hit our goals of reducing and ultimately removing carbon and noxious emissions out of our fleet, while also giving Australians choice.
Tesla has criticised the credits too, adding to concerns that the Federal Chamber of Automotive Industries is pushing weak policy.
The FCA had led a strategic negative lobbying campaign in Australia to push back against ambitious climate policy.
The Chamber denies this allegation and says that fuel emissions targets need to be realistic so that Australians get to keep buying all sorts of cars. As well as targets and credits, the federal government will also have to decide on punishments for non-compliant brands.
Penalties need to be set high enough that they provide a genuine incentive for companies to comply.
Fuel efficiency standards were first proposed here 15 years ago. Now the federal government has heard from all of these stakeholders. It still has to go back and come up with its final policy, which it says it hopes to do by the end of this year.
We're focusing on getting the design of the fuel efficiency standards right, and that is a complicated exercise.
Back in the driver's seat, Australians who are still waiting for EV prices to drop have their own targets.
I'll probably say around 40 grand, 35, somewhere around there for electric car, yeah. Just a small one.
How soon this happens could come down to how quickly fuel efficiency standards come in.